analytics in general was, in many organizations, it kind of becomes a homegrown situation. Someone's interested in analytics. A lot of organizations will, pick up some simple products to get started with. Not surprising, they started with Power BI. Great tool when you're talking about systems to, folks that are Excel savvy and SQL savvy. A lot of people with a lot of information and a lot of history behind Excel. Nice price point coming in with Power BI. It's a great starting point for the organization. And, it's a comfort, it's a great comfort tool. So there was a little bit of Power BI going on here, mainly connected directly to our ERP, producing some inventory requirements, maybe some operational data, really driven off of data that was already produced in views within the ERP, and not really tied to any other systems. Limited scope, limited availability to a number of people, and just had a little bit of a presence. But the organization really knew that, if they were going to grow, we're a heavy acquisition organization. We needed a scalable solution here, a solution that was going to control our data, and really kind of get it out of the hands of the everyday user when it comes to having to manage the data, and just more or less rely on the ability to look at the information and analyze information. So, when I joined, it was, let's take a look at, what's in the organization today, how is it being used, and is there a better solution, that we can leverage, that'll set us up for a longer term success.
You started to engage users on that. You had some Power BI in there, but I think one of the things as we've talked, you said Power BI tends to show you information, doesn't always engage you in there. Can you dig in a little bit more about kind of what you saw? I think we've talked about there was some lower adoption. It was there, but minimal use, and kind of just what you saw and what you thought might be able to happen if you brought in a different tool like Qlik.
Yeah, so I had been familiar with QlikSense in the past. I have gone through numerous tools in my history in analytics, from MicroStrategy, Cognos, SAP Business Objects, Crystal, Power BI, Tableau, and then, more recently got involved with QlikSense about 5 or 6 years ago. And one of the things that I've noticed in all of those solutions is the difference in engagement that our users were seeing when presented with QlikSense as opposed to other tools. It seemed like many of the other tools were just, putting the information up on a screen, presenting it in a dashboard, and not really engaging our users. And if you're going to grow your analytic base, and you're going to become more decentralized with your analytics and get that out into your, the self-service analytic democratization of data, then you need to be able to engage those users. So with Power BI, a lot of folks were just looking at the information, sort of just seeing it for what it was, getting the information, but not really being engaged and not really being kind of sucked into what's actually there. And when brought in front of QlikSense, our users were just completely transformed into the information that they were seeing. So even presenting the same information, the level of engagement started to increase. It's just the difference in the visuals that QlikSense presents as opposed to Power BI. So, again, with having some of that familiar context of Power BI and Excel, you get a very nice, comfortable feeling. When you put something like QlikSense out in front of your users, you do transform them. They're thinking that they're going to a different place. They're thinking that they're getting some kind of information that's better than what they've seen in Power BI. What am I going to get? What am I going to see next? How deep can I go into this information? And that's a great story to present out to your end users. And we've had a significant increase in our usage, transitioning from Power BI over to QlikSense. I mean, within 1 year, we had a six-fold increase in users that became adopted, and it's continuously. I mean, we've been growing our user base monthly to see more information, and we're hitting more departments.